So as you can see, the car reaches speed, but it takes quite a long time compared to what it's supposed to be. And I think we know what's causing it. But we got power back, we got power! You fix one problem, another problem comes along. Welcome back to another everyday valued mechanic video. In today's video we have Volvo XC60 with 2-liter diesel engine. This is a D4 version of it, so 4 cylinders. This is my new workhorse. Basically I got this car for very good price, but it needs some bits and bobs doing at it. Obviously nothing comes for free these days. And today we have a bank holiday in the UK, so today I'll be all day working on this car, and the things that this car requires needs replacing front discs. As we can see here, they're not in the greatest shape, so they've been long gone. So front disc and pads, rear brake pads, they look okay from the outside, but inner ones they're quite small. And then this car also needs a timing belt, water pump. Then there is the inlet manifold is completely blocked as well, so needs taking that off, and I got something new for that job. Possibly needs new map sensor, and oil change, air filter, as I'm new owner and I don't know when was the last time done oil change. And also we have a problem with the DPF filter, so there's a battery, so possibly at some point I'm gonna have to put a new battery on. So there we can see Soot filter is full, so that's a DPF filter. Then we have engine system service required, so basically this is the map sensor fault code showing up, but I think it shows up because of the soot buildup in the inlet manifold and the regular maintenance of it. This is the oil change. So that's the mileage, 137,000, almost 138,000. The car still drives okay. It's in a limp mode, but hopefully we'll manage to sort that today out as I go all day to work on it. So as you can see, the car reaches speed, but it takes quite a long time compared to what it's supposed to be. So I think there's not enough air coming in, so that's my foot to the ground, and it's barely slowly climbing up only. So today's agenda is to remove inlet manifold and clean any soot buildup. So mainly we're gonna work only in the engine compartment, and I start by removing engine cover and these Volvo screw clips that are a mystery to me how they work. Next we need to remove this air box, and to do that I disconnect the mass airflow sensor, open this Jubilee clip. Now there's two push clips that holds the MAF airflow sensor wiring. They're quite stiff, so takes a little bit of time. In the video it's easy, but I remember when I removed them it took some fighting. So once that's been removed, the airbox in theory can now come out. This inlet cowl. Now we disconnect this breather pipe that goes to the inlet manifold, or not to the inlet manifold, to the rocker cover. There's one 8mm screw that holds the pipe. Now the pipe is loose, and that didn't went as I was expecting. That was very weak connection there. Okay, we'll address that a little bit later. There's another hose clamp, and it can slide off from the rocker cover breather. Or the clean snap. And there's another Jubilee clip on the other end of this air pipe that we need to disconnect, and the pipe can come off. Gives us a lot of space. Now I'm gonna cover the intake to the turbo, so no debris can fly inside to damage the turbo. Now there's a bunch of wiring that we need to disconnect and cables. This is from the high pressure pump. This is from the inlet manifold swerve flap motor. Now there's three 8mm bolts that holds this wiring loom on the side of the engine. Now I can see the wiring loom is more or less free. These fuel lines we're gonna disconnect, and for that I put some rag or paper towels to catch any fuel spillages. To disconnect these you have to push these white clips on each side of the pipe, and if you press hard enough you can slide the fuel lines off the high pressure pump. Now I move to disconnect this EGR pipe. There's two nuts that holds a bracket. I didn't know it the first time when I was doing it, and after removing these two screws, T30, I've noticed there's another 10mm bolts and nuts, like more like screws. They look like a nuts, but I'll show you the screw. So they look like this. You have to remove, and then the pipe can come out. And here you can see the EGR pipe. It's not completely blocked, but there is quite a big buildup. So this is already indication that there's also something inside the manifold. Here I mark the vacuum lines just to know where they each go, and removing them from the vacuum reservoir. As they're very close to each other, is always the best thing to take a photo or mark them how they go. Now there's three screws that hold the vacuum reservoir, and it can come out. Now I'm gonna remove the swerve flap motor, also holding by 3 screws. And all of them, they are T30 ones, Torx 30 or T30. So that's the motor out. Now there's a boost pressure regulator, and to remove it, there's 2 clips you have to press on each side and lift upwards, and it should slide out. There's no screws, just the clips that it slides on. Now the high pressure pipe from the throttle body, also held in by the clip. I open both sides, and now the pipe is off. And you don't need to push it all the way, just to make sure it doesn't clamp anymore on. So what I did here, I just push it a little bit down. There's one hidden 10mm bolt for the inlet manifold. That's a bolt. Sorry, that was 8mm. And then to remove inlet manifold, we also need to take off this fuel line that goes to the fuel rail from the high pressure pump. Again, put some rug underneath or paper towels to catch any spillages. And all I did here, I fully disconnected from the high pressure pump, and I'm gonna lift it upwards. I'm not gonna take it completely off. And I'm gonna secure all these pipes with the cable ties later. They were away from the inlet ports and give me more space to work there. Now we can remove the inlet manifold bolts. They are 10mm and 5 of them. Now the manifold can come off. Just take your time when removing it, as you're removing together with the throttle body, so it is quite a large unit. Just to make sure nothing is holding, no wires, no cables, no clips. Here you can see the inlet manifold doesn't look that bad. It is dirty, I've seen worse, so that's a good sign for us to need a new manifold. But the inlet ports is the worst I have seen in my entire mechanic life. Never ever seen car so clogged up. So when I got this car, I seen the EGR was replaced, and I thought maybe people or mechanics who before, as we can see here, the cooler from the EGR is older than the EGR, so they replaced the EGR, thinking that's what causing car not to pull. As the fault code was the map sensor and the DPF filter. Anyhow, so this is my new tool I ordered from the eBay, and this is what called walnut blasting. So this is the gun that shoots walnut shells, and it took me half a day just to organize to connect to our fuel lines, and this is monstrosity that I created there. There's plenty Jubilee clips around it just to hold the hose so it doesn't explode, and other side is just a hoover that sucks all the shells back out, and it works like this. I'll show you. So first I removed the big chunks from the very entrance of these ports, and I use the industrial hoover just to suck everything out. If you don't have powerful hoover, make sure you close each cylinder so the valves was closed position so nothing goes inside. So here we're removing the throttle body as I will clean it. It's not very dirty again, but it is good idea to clean it while you have a chance. So here we can see some residue, not very bad. And to clean this, I use the brake cleaner to get rid of most of the oils around it and inside, and then I use the carb and throttle body cleaner and just a detailing brush. Again, I do not recommend, if you doing the same job, to move the flaps inside, as this is electronic and there's a chance that you can damage it, as I have experienced before when I again cleaned it, these electronic throttle bodies, and I moved the flaps just to get better access to cleaning it, and later I had a full coat for the throttle body. So again, if you're cleaning, don't move it, clean it as much as you can in this position, you're gonna be good to go. So that's clean. Now I'm gonna spend some time cleaning the inlet manifold. So I remove all the gaskets. Now I'm gonna remove map sensor. A map sensor I already cleaned some time ago just to see if that's gonna help, and it helped a bit, but still car was not going. It just removed the full coat for the map sensor, but car was still not pulling. So here you can see it's quite clean. So when I first time pulled it out, it was all blocked and you even couldn't see the tip of the sensor. And again, I'm using the carb cleaner and the brake cleaner to clean as much as I can. So next I remove the wheel to get access to the wheel arch, and remove the wheel arch, as once I'm gonna start cleaning or walnut blasting the inlet ports, I'm gonna have to turn the engine to make sure the valves are all in close position on the cylinders that I will work on. And there is access from the top, but it's more easy to do this way, as it gives you better control. And two clips to hold this second board that covers the belt. Sorry, belt, and there we have access. So I'm starting from the cylinder number 4, and I make sure I turn the engine and make sure that these two inlet valves are completely closed, and I start cleaning it. So this is just first time I'm using this tool. I was not expecting like big results, but I spent about a minute of blasting it, and this is what, after 1 minute blasting just one port, how much you can get off. So I can already start seeing like clean walls. So that's I was impressed by only by 1 minute blasting it, and this is, I'm not any professional, so all of them took me about an hour to clean them, but here we can see the result. It's not perfect, but it's definitely like 99% of all buildup I have removed it. Took me about an hour and a half to do it. So, and from now on we can assemble everything back together. And when you put the manifold inside, just make sure you connect the throttle body as well to it, as they go together in. Otherwise, if you put the inlet manifold and try to do throttle body, then as bolt goes from bottom up, you're gonna have some struggle. Here I'm pushing the boost pipe back to the throttle body. Make sure I hear the click so the clips jump together. Secure the pipe. The boost sensor went inside, and now the vacuum reservoir. Now we connect back these vacuum lines in the same order or position that we remove. It takes a little bit longer time for me to understand where everything goes, as this is not often we get Volvos to work on. Now the swirl flap motor goes inside, and there's the pin that you have to locate it into the swirl flap. If you remove it, you will see there's like a round, like a slot where that motor pin has to go inside. Now the mop sensor can go inside with one Torx 30 bolt. Now we locate all these wiring loom, cables and clips. Now the EGR pipe can go inside. It's all been cleaned. Again, I used the brake cleaner and the carb and throttle body cleaner. This does a very good job. Now we secure those two bolts. Now these 30 screws. Now we'll locate the fuel line from the high pressure pump to the fuel rail. I have tendency when I do these jobs, I always screw them with the fingers, but I forget one or two pipes to nip it with the spanner, and when I start the car sometimes it leaks. Luckily I learned my lessons, and I always do 2 or 3 times going over those pipes to make sure. Especially sad when you spend like quite a long time cleaning everything, make sure it's everything nice and clean and dry, and then upon assembling everything you start it up and you make a mess, and all that job of cleaning goes down the drain. Secure all the fuel lines here. It's a good thing that all these screws, D30, they're all same length and same, so even if you mix some of them, it's not a problem as they're pretty much all same. Now we secure this wiring loom with 3 bolts, 2 in the side and 1 at the top. That's one done. There's another one at the back, and then 1 at the top. And all of them are 8mm. Remove this glove. And here you can see I glue with the plastic back this pipe to this air pipe, this breather pipe to the air pipe. So it's not the most beautiful job, but it will do the job definitely. Slide it on the breather. You can locate this other side pipe and secure one 10mm bolt there. Now the Jubilee clip. Now the airbox can go back inside. I don't know, maybe I was doing something wrong, but it took me some time to figure out how to get it in nicely. So just cut some pieces out and just show you I managed to get it inside. And we're finishing off with the engine cover and also the wheel arch lining and the wheel. So this is the next morning and yesterday my battery ran out on the way home, so I did not have a chance to film it. So the good news, I have power back, which is surprisingly without even doing DPF region. But then again, it's not surprisingly to see how much the inlet ports was blocked. But on the way back, when I came here, I parked it and I had the smoke coming from the bonnet. So I open up and there's something now smoking at the back of the engine. So it's nothing, I didn't touch anything on the back, so it is either something new or something I did not notice before, or turbo heating up too much. I know there's this oily from the rocker cover that needs doing, so maybe some oil dropped down. But yeah, so there's no more any engine lights or any notifications that something is wrong. Just a maintenance reminder. It's there, and that's it. Just one. So that's a good start. But I don't know what's with that smoke. Alright, I'm going to work, and then the garage I think is gonna smoke again, so I'm gonna have torch, maybe look at it closer, see what is it. So here we can clearly see it spins up pretty fast. That's a bit too fast. But we got power back, we got power! So just arrived to the garage, and let's see if it smokes. I did not see any smoke coming during the drive and in the traffic stops, but let's not get too excited too soon. Yep, still smokes. I don't know if you can pick up that on camera. Yeah, you can't pick that on camera. It doesn't look. But something smokes there at the back. Not that much as yesterday, but it smokes. You fix one problem, another problem comes along. And on this we have come to an end of another everyday valued mechanic video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate thumbs up, as this really helps channel to grow. Also, I would like to say massive thank you to all my subscribers, as channel has reached 1000 subs, and to anybody into YouTube stuff, this is a massive achievement. Thank you all for your support, and I'll see you all in part 2 of this Volvo repairs. Your valued mechanic out.